Yo, what's good, people? Thanks for checking out the process of the building of Chopper's new outdoor enclosure. This process took me a minute, and I'm gonna show you how I created this in the part one portion. I'm not a professional carpenter, so you may see or know better ways of doing this than myself. All you need is a vision and a will. That being said, I can't stress this enough. Throughout the process, for the most part, I'm not wearing any protective equipment. So please wear protective equipment that's needed. Real important, safety first. Alright, let's get to it. So, his original outdoor enclosure was a dog kennel. It was 4 foot by 8 foot by 6 foot at the highest point. For us who own large monitor lizards, we know you can never have enough space for them. So I wanted to construct something 2, maybe even 3 times bigger. So in my mind, I'm thinking, let's make the cage 6 foot high, 6 foot in depth, 15 feet long. Okay, for starters, I started the structure in 2 ways. 2 structures the same, and a third one as an alternate build, which I felt was more nonsensical. Here I started with 3 2-inch by 4-inch by 8-foot construction framing posts. I'm gonna measure off a foot on each end of each post. I want the overall cage to stand 6 feet high, where 1 foot would be put in the ground and another foot just up top. I apologize, I'm recording this with one hand and trying to measure with the other. Now I chose this lumber for a reason, which I'll explain later at the end of the video. I bought 6 1/2-inch 5-foot by 3-foot cement board or backer board, using 2 backer boards per 3 posts, times 3, equaling 15 feet across. I'll be using 1 1/4-inch backer screws to fasten the cement board to the framing post. Since these are backer screws, they fasten better to the cement board than any other fastener or screw. I chose to construct this with cement board because I'm using mortar. It adheres better to cement board rather than wood. Each cement board is 5 feet long, 3 feet high. One structure with 2 is 6 feet high, 5 feet long. Times 3 would be 6 feet high, 15 feet across. You get that? One structure complete. Turn it over. I'm cutting 2 8-foot posts down to 5 foot apiece and constructing lips for the front. One at the top where the cement board meets the post, and one at the bottom where the cement board meets the post. Here I have an 8-foot by 5-foot structure with some weight. Imagine carrying this over the 3 pre-dug holes trying to drop it in accordingly. Here's where the alternate build comes in. Now this time, I'm still measuring off 1 foot from the bottom of the framing post. Take my post hole digger and dig down 1 foot. Keeping my dirt somewhere easy to get to, because I'm going to use it to bury and pack. Make sure it's even, insert my post, 1 foot, bury, pack. Last time I had an issue packing the dirt because I had to get it between the structure and my fence. I had to use a 5-foot PVC piping as a funnel, which I most likely didn't pack accordingly, but it's okay. After filling the hole, packing the post would not need cement or foam filling because it's not a fence. Bring over my cement board, get it flush to the frame evenly, and use them 1 1/4-inch backer screws to screw in the backer boards. 3 screws down one side, 3 screws down the middle, 3 screws down the other side. Same thing for the top. Rest it on the bottom for support and use the same 3 screw method. It's secure. Now trying to determine where the stud is, the drill will make a certain sound to let you know you hit it. Let's get to the bottom and construct that bottom 5-foot lip. I'm using the same 1 1/4 inch screws to screw in from an angle to each post without splitting the wood. I'm using the knock technique here for those of us that has experience mounting TVs. You knock to hit that stud and listen for that solid thud to know where it is. Once you located it, it'll give resistance. Now for that top lip, I definitely needed the extra hands for help. I begged my daughter to hold the lip while I did the same thing up top. Thanks, Jess. Here I bought two 2-inch by 6-inch by 8-foot prime pressure treated pine, along with a nosy dog by my feet. I cut this down to 6 feet, as you can see. I also bought 3 1/4-inch backer boards for this. Line the treated wood up on top of the backer board evenly. Grab my scoring knife and start scoring. Now you're gonna need a little bit of elbow grease for this, so don't be shy. It's not as hard as it seems, you just need determination. Remember, no sawing, just score. Lift the board up over the turned wood and break. This is where it's recommended to wear protective equipment like gloves, eyewear, masks, preferably a respirator. Now these boards have sharp fibers, and with them, a lot of cement dust get kicked up after breaking. I'm cutting this along the 3-foot length. And to add, no one told me that there's a softer side on this cement board. Locate it, and it should be easy. I'm gonna be doing this 8 times. 2 for the front of the wooden board, 2 for the opposite side of the wooden board. Then repeat for the second board. Since I cut them in 3 feet high, 2 will make 6 feet. Yup, nice and even. Now I'm gonna turn this wood on its side and I'm gonna trace and score 3-foot strips. I'm gonna do this 4 times for one side edge, not the other side, since it'll be unseen and untouched. 2 of these for the edge side of each board. Next, I'll be using the same 1 1/4 inch backer screws to fasten the cut cement board to the 2-inch by 6-foot treated board. Line the 2 3-feet pieces up and start fastening. As you can see, I didn't start at the very top. I started about 8 inches down. Also, I did not screw the outer portions of the board. There's a reason for that. I'll explain that in the next frame. But for now, We want to make sure this is snug with no loose portions on that board. What I did at the top, I did the same thing by fastening 8 inches starting from the very bottom. Flip it over, repeat the process for the other side. Now I took the board, flipped it on the side, lined the 2 3-foot strips up on the side. I did the same process I did with the front and back of the board. With the second 2-inch by 6-foot treated board, I repeated the process. Now I made this to extend the depth of the cage another foot. Instead of 5 feet, I made it 6 feet. Here I'm lining it up to confirm fitment. Perfect. Here I'm using 5-inch construction screws. I went back to redo the lips. Was not happy with the sturdiness, so I went with better reinforcement. Much, much, much better. Here I'm using 2-inch backing screws to fasten the very top. Remember leaving that top untouched? This is why. Also, the very bottom, also fasten this into the lips as well to make this one with the whole structure. I'm losing daylight in early April with some unusually nice weather. This is why I'm here after sundown, still working. Because there's a drop in the weather in a couple of days. Here I'm using the same 1 1/4 inch screws. I decided to cut strips to fasten the top of the bottom of the lips. Also, I cut strips to cover these gaps to meet all the structures. 1 1/4 inch backer screws again. Now I'm hanging my shelf. I'm using 2 shelving brackets for the support of the weight of the lizard. He's heavy, so this needs to be nice, sturdy, and level. I'm constructing 3 of these. One very low on one end for him to just able to climb up. One on the far opposite end for him to bridge from the basking perch, and one high in the middle for the waterfall. I'm also using 2-foot treated wood that was cut from the 8-foot treated lumber as the perches. So far everything is coming along. I use these 2 framing posts because if the wood rots, the structure would already have become a rock structure. So I'm really not worried about that. It's not gonna come crashing down. At this point, I'm determined if I want to make the perches rock or carpet. Maybe a combination of both. This is the end of this portion. Check out part 2 of this video to see how I finished. Thanks for watching. Hard day and night, on my grind, I pay the price, yeah boy, I pay